Unseen Danger. Chapter 1: The Unseen Presence. The fog rolled in like a ghostly tide, swallowing the city in its thick, grey embrace. Amidst this eerie shroud, a figure moved unseen, a phantom among mortals. His name was Elias, and he was invisible. Elias had always been different. As a child, he'd noticed that he could slip through the world unnoticed, a silent observer of life's drama. At first, he found it exhilarating, the freedom to move without being seen, to hear secrets whispered in the night. But as he grew older, the novelty wore off, replaced by a profound sense of isolation. Now, as he drifted through the fog-shrouded streets, a strange sensation crept over him. It was as if something was watching him, a presence that felt both familiar and terrifying. He tried to shake off the feeling, but it persisted, growing stronger with every step. Chapter 2: The Shadow in the Fog. The fog thickened, reducing visibility to a few feet. Elias pressed closer to the buildings, hoping to blend in with the shadows. But the feeling of being watched intensified. He could almost feel the weight of unseen eyes upon him. Suddenly, a noise echoed through the fog. It was a soft, rhythmic tapping, like a heartbeat. Elias froze. The tapping grew louder, coming closer. He tried to run, but his legs felt heavy, as if rooted to the spot. Then, he saw it. A dark shape emerged from the fog, a silhouette against the dim light. It moved towards him with a slow, deliberate pace. Elias felt a cold dread wash over him. He was not alone in the fog. Chapter 3: The Unveiling. The shape drew closer, its features obscured by the fog. Elias could make out a pair of glowing eyes, two burning embers in the darkness. The tapping grew louder, now a steady drumbeat that echoed in his ears. With a final, chilling screech, the fog parted, revealing the creature in all its horrifying glory. It was a grotesque humanoid figure, its skin a sickly shade of gray. Its body was twisted and deformed, its limbs long and spindly. And its eyes, they were filled with a cold, malicious intelligence. Elias screamed, but the sound was muffled by the fog. The creature lunged at him, its claws outstretched. In that moment, Elias felt a surge of primal fear. He was alone, trapped in the fog with a monster. Chapter 4: The Hunt Begins. The creature lunged, but Elias managed to dodge the attack. He stumbled backward, his heart pounding in his chest. He knew he couldn't outrun the monster in the fog, and his invisibility was no longer an advantage. Desperate, Elias turned and ran, weaving through the narrow streets. The creature followed, its relentless pursuit echoing through the fog. Elias could hear its breath hot on his heels, feel its presence closing in. He ducked into a dark alleyway, hoping to lose the creature. But as he turned a corner, he found himself trapped. The alley was a dead end, and the creature was right behind him. With a roar that shook the ground, the creature pounced. Elias tried to fight back, but his feeble attempts were no match for the monster's strength. He was thrown to the ground, pinned beneath the creature's weight. Chapter 5: The Nightmare Continues. As the creature hovered over him, its eyes filled with a cruel satisfaction, Elias felt a wave of despair wash over him. He was doomed. There was no escape. But just as the creature was about to strike the final blow, a strange sound echoed through the fog. It was a voice, a deep, resonant voice that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere. "Stop," the voice commanded. The creature froze, its movements halting abruptly. Elias looked up, his eyes wide with disbelief. The fog parted, revealing a figure standing at the end of the alley. The figure was cloaked in shadow, its face obscured. But its voice was filled with an authority that commanded respect. "Leave him alone," the figure said. "Or face the consequences." Chapter 6: A Mysterious Ally. The creature hesitated, its eyes darting between Elias and the cloaked figure. Then, with a low growl, it turned and disappeared into the fog. Elias was left alone, trembling and exhausted. He looked up at the cloaked figure, his heart filled with gratitude. "Who are you?" he asked. The figure stepped closer, revealing a face that was both familiar and strange. It was the face of a man he had seen in his dreams, a man who had warned him of the danger that lurked in the fog. "My name is Gabriel," the man said. "And I am here to help you." Chapter 7: The Final Confrontation. With Gabriel's guidance, Elias learned more about the creature that had attacked him. It was a remnant of a dark force that had once plagued the city. The fog had awakened it, and now it sought to spread its evil influence once more. Gabriel told Elias that he must confront the creature and destroy it before it could cause more harm. Elias was hesitant, but he knew he had no choice. With Gabriel's help, he prepared for the final battle. The confrontation took place in the heart of the city, under the watchful eye of the moon. The creature was larger and more powerful than before, its eyes burning with a sinister intensity. But Elias was ready. With Gabriel's guidance and the strength he had found within himself, he fought the creature with all his might. It was a brutal battle, a clash of wills and forces that shook the city to its core. In the end, Elias emerged victorious. The creature was defeated, its evil influence banished forever. As the fog began to lift, revealing a city bathed in moonlight, Elias knew that his ordeal was over. He had faced his fears, overcome his isolation, and found a purpose in life. And with Gabriel at his side, he was no longer alone.